Next card is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is connects to the Hebrew letter Bob. And Bob means nail or tent peg. So it's a nail that sticks two things together, binds them permanently. And so this guy is the first Pope, St. Peter. And he's also like the judge, the jury, and you go and learn from him as well. So he's like all those institutions. And so it's like he has the authority to marry two things together permanently. And it usually has to do with contracts. Like people get married, they get the wedding contract. Or if you get married to a new car, you got to be signed at least for 5 years. Married to a house, and you have to pay that mortgage for 30 years. Married to a school, you got to pay those college loans for however long, forever. And then stuff like that. And he connects them. But he has the keys by his feet. These are the two keys that Jesus gave St. Peter before he went to heaven. And these are the keys to the kingdom of the church, so he can lead the church. But also these keys, they unlocked the predestined fulfillment and blessings that you were owed in heaven. Or it could like loosen you from any contracts that were keeping you back from living a fulfilling life and being free or having a life of luxury. Just like you can get divorced, or you can get out of a contract, you can get out of a loan or get out of a mortgage, something like that. So it's about connecting and also disconnecting from things that seem pretty permanent, that might not just be easy to walk away from. Like there might be like legal stuff you have to go through. And then the Hierophant, he also sits on top of this like treasure chest. It's a platform, but he has the keys on it. So think about the keys, they lock you in, or they unlock your predestined blessings. So think about like a treasure chest, and he has the keys to unlock it. People go to him and they want to know what they're predestined to, or how to tap into that. And what's my path? Like, because we're all on this predestined path that's pretty good. We just don't know what it is. And so he's the guy that helps you get back on the path, teaches you what you need to do, and taps you so you, or aligns you with what you can do to make a heaven on earth. And then usually you always have to like sacrifice a little something of you in order to get a life of luxury. You got to sacrifice your time, your money, something like that. It's just like the Pope. He's the one that, like the Romans killed Jesus. And so Jesus had to sacrifice himself for others, but it was a whole plan. And so that was like how he returned back to heaven right after he died on the cross. And he died with 3 nails, just like Bob means nail. And you'll see 3 crosses on this Pope, just like when Jesus died at Calvary, or the place called Golgotha. He died in the middle between 2 thieves. And then there's also like a numeric, or the Roman numeral V, which is 5, but it's a V, just like the Hebrew letter Vav. And then by the keys, they're shaped like a V, just like the Vav. And then Vav is also interchangeable with the W, which you see on this crown. So W like Wa or Vav, it just depends the dialect, but they're interchangeable. So you have 3 Vavs, and so like 3 nails. So it's like, what are you willing? It's like Jesus got sacrificed. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get life of luxury? And this is the Taurus card. Taurus is all about living in a life of luxury. Like they go out and they enjoy the finer things in life. Like they want to go out to the finest restaurant, at the finest hotel, have the most expensive meal with the Dom Perignon champagne. And then afterwards, they'll go take a limo and go to like a Broadway show. It's on the first row, something like that, where that was the best. And then later they have to look at their credit card charges. It's like, oh man, what were we willing to sacrifice? But just I wanted that feeling of feeling rich. Remember I told you the 10 of Pentacles had a secret seal of Saturn on it? This card does also. So you see the Hebrew letter Y in these guys' shirts. It's like a Y, a yellow Y. So that's the Hebrew letter Yod, which means hand. Actually, the Hebrew word for hand is Yod with an A, but the Hebrew letter associated with hand is Yod. Very similar. And so you connect the Y's to the V's of the Vav, right? So these 2 Y's would go up and connect to the crown W, which is Vav, and we form an upside down triangle. or like a triangle or upside down V. And then you follow the Pope's hands, and then you go down to the Vav with this one at the bottom, the keys. So now you have two overlapping V's, which looks like an X and X touching each other. And then you draw a line right through the middle cross where Jesus would be hanging. And then you have the seal of Saturn. And the seal of Saturn is a gateway portal. So you can open up your third eye and tap into those blessings that you want, your desires, and you bring them down into the real world. So the Hierophant, he tells you how to get your desires, and he says it's not through him, it's through you. You have the power, not me. And I'll tell you something even crazier that not people know about, but when I was studying Kabbalah, I learned that the first pope is St. Peter, but St. Peter is Simon Peter, who followed around Jesus. And so St. Peter is Jewish. So the first pope was Jewish. And then Simon Peter, he's known, his Jewish name is Shimon Bar Yochai. Like Shimon is Simon. So Shimon Bar Yochai. And Shimon Bar Yochai is the guy who wrote the Kabbalah book called the Zohar. And so when he became pope, he put in all the Kabbalah stories into the New Testament. And so if you look at it in a Kabbalistic way, it makes a lot of sense. And so he's the one that teaches you that if you want prosperity in your life, you don't need to go to church. You just need to go to your third eye and you tap in and unlock the treasure chest. So yeah, in a practical reading, it's like someone that you want to connect for sure, because Vav means connect or to bind. But you can also get out and unbind yourself from certain things like marriage or a contract. But anything that's institutions as well, anything with law, school, church, army, something like that. Because back in the day, the Pope had the authority over all of that stuff. He was even the bank. And I think whenever you get that card, if you have to do anything with one of those institutions, it always is a sign of good luck that you will be able to get the prosperity that's predestined to you. And you'll be judged in your favor.